Dr. Rose Cotter, a therapist who was traumatized by witnessing her mother's suicide at age 10, takes an emergency session with graduate student Laura Weaver. Laura, who witnessed her professor Gabriel Munoz bludgeon himself with a hammer, claims she is being haunted by an evil presence, and no one but her can see. Laura insists that the entity has the power to appear as other people wearing an eerie smile. Laura suddenly freaks out, then begins smiling ominously before cutting open her neck with a broken vase. One of the detectives who interviews Rose about Laura's death turns out to be her ex-boyfriend Joel. Rose recounts what Laura told her about supposedly being cursed. Rose begins seeing Laura smiling at her in various places. She then looks into Gabriel Munoz's suicide and learns that Gabriel was also smiling strangely before he died. Rose checks on her patient Carl, who was admitted for a manic episode. Carl smiles ominously and begins threatening Rose. But it turns out Rose only imagined his aggressive behavior. Believing Rose has a mental breakdown, Rose's boss, Dr. Morgan, puts her on 1 week's leave. Following another frightening vision of Laura, the security alarm goes off, while Rose is home alone. An operator from the security service calls Rose with a taunting message. The real operator calls Rose shortly thereafter. Rose notices her cat is missing. Concerned for own mental health, Rose visits her former therapist, Dr. Madeline Northcott. Madeline attributes her hallucinations to Rose's long-standing guilt over her mother's intentional overdose and denies Rose's request to prescribe antipsychotic medication. Rose and her fiancé, Trevor, attend Jackson's birthday party at Rose's sister Holly's house. Guests are mortified when Jackson opens Rose's gift to find her dead cat packaged inside. Another vision of Laura terrifies Rose. Rose tells Trevor about the curse that killed Laura, apparently being passed on to her. Trevor dismissively accuses Rose of inheriting mental illness from her mother and of killing their cat. Rose visits Gabriel Munoz's widow Victoria, where she sees macabre sketches Gabriel drew of a dark entity. Rose learns Gabriel was traumatized by the death of his brother, and he began ranting about the curse after he saw a woman kill herself. Rose convinces Joel to help her connecting the clues. Joel accesses a file for Angela Powell, who was the real estate agent that Gabriel saw die. Several days prior to her death, Angela saw a smiling man suddenly hack his own neck. Rose returns home to find that Trevor called Madeline for an intervention over Rose's worrying mental state. Rose flees, feeling betrayed, and tries telling Holly about the curse, which leads to the sisters arguing about Rose behaving similarly to their abusive mother. Joel discovers a chain of 20 similar cases involving witnesses to 19 suicides. The exception was Robert Talley, who watched his business partner commit suicide. Instead of killing himself, Robert murdered a stranger 4 days later. 1 week after that, the eyewitness to Robert's actions committed suicide, and the pattern resumed. Joel takes Rose to see Robert in jail. Rose thinks the entity possesses people before they kill themselves, and she worries her time with the curse is almost up. At the jail, Robert reveals that the only way to break the curse's chain is to kill someone else. But there has to be a witness, because the entity needs trauma to continue surviving. Madeline visits Rose back at home. Rose realizes the presence is impersonating Madeline when the real Madeline calls her on the phone. Armed with a kitchen knife, Rose drives to the hospital. She experiences a vision of stabbing her patient Carl to death in front of Dr. Morgan, who then tears off his own face. The real Dr. Morgan finds Rose in her car with the knife, and he tries to summon help before she drives away. Joel calls to tell Rose that there is an APB out for her. Rose says she is going to confront the entity and wants to be alone, so no witnesses can inherit the curse. Rose drives to her abandoned childhood home where her mother died. Inside, Rose confronts a vision of her mother, who accuses Rose of allowing her to die by not calling for help upon finding her overdosing. The vision then morphs into a lanky creature that attacks Rose. Rose sets the creature on fire and escapes outside as the entire house goes up in flames. Rose then visits Joel to apologize for involving him in this situation. Rose realizes she is still cursed when Joel smiles eerily. She discovers she never actually left her intact childhood home. The real Joel arrives at the abandoned house. To protect him, Rose locks Joel outside while the creature pulls open her mouth. Joel breaks into the house and sees Rose set herself on fire while smiling. Thanks for watching. To catch all the latest from us, subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified as soon as a new video drops. We'll see you in the next one.